Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another video, and for today's video I am actually going to finally be closing my October monthly budget. If you guys have seen my videos, you guys know that I do monthly budgets where I check in every single week to see how much I've spent throughout the month and how I make the money that I budget for in the beginning of the month last throughout the whole month. So I am finally back, like I mentioned, to do this video. I feel like I'm kind of late in getting this up, but there's just been a ton going on in my life, so I can finally go ahead and do this. So what I'm going to be going through for this video is I am going to first weekly check in for the very last week for me, week 5, which is from the 28th until the 31st. After I'm done with the weekly check-in, I will go ahead and take the numbers that I have for the remainings and stuff like that and insert all of that into what I actually spent for all of my categories for the month, as well as the variances for that. I will go ahead and also go on with my variable income, spending, and of course I will update my monthly view. And then last but not least, we'll go ahead and also close my sinking funds for October, which all of this has already been closed in my rough draft to do my November sinking funds, but I do like to do it on camera just so you guys can get an idea of how to go about closing your sinking funds, closing out a month, and just stuff like that. I like to be as detailed as possible, and you guys seem to really enjoy that. So let's go ahead and get started. I have all of my stickers ready, so I am going to use not the payday stickers because I have those, but I have a few budget expense stickers, no spend stickers, and I also have my cash envelopes that I used last month, which are from Type A for Alexa. And then I have my little trackers. I like to keep everything in a micro happy planner. I just recently changed out the little cover. This is one by Happy Scrappy in collaboration with Once More with Love. So this is where I have all of my trackers for the month. These are all of my trackers, so they're all updated and ready to be closed out. First, before we move on to weekly checking in for the very last week, I'm going to lay down my stickers. So on the 29th, I had 2 expenses. One of them was gas. I finally pumped gas for the month. It's so funny because I pumped gas on the very first day of the month, and that lasted me to 4 weeks. That's literally so crazy, but that's how you know that I haven't been driving anywhere whatsoever. So I pumped gas this day, and I also went to Target with my little brother Andrew, and that was on the 29th. I don't have many expenses, and there were only, let's see, 5 days left of the month to check in for anyways. And then the leftover expenses were an actual Halloween. So first I went ahead and took out $5 from my allowance cash envelope to give to some lady that was asking for money. I don't know, I just decided since I have some money in my allowance cash envelope, why not just give it away? I wasn't going to use the money, and it was the very last day of the month. So I took that out of my allowance cash envelope. And then last but not least, I did go to Sally's to get my hair dye. So that was $39. I believe I stocked up on both hair dye as well as I got like a nail file to file my nails because I know they're kind of hideous right now, but don't mind them. And I also went ahead and purchased some eyelash glue because I had run out the week prior. So those were the 2 days that I had expenses for. And now I'm just gonna take my no spend stickers, which I like to put on the days where I don't spend any money. I don't know, I just think it's cute and it adds a little bit more me to my spread. So in total I had 2 no spend stickers this week, and now let's go ahead and check in for this last week in my weekly check-in. So what I like to do in my weekly check-in is check in for all of my cash envelopes that I have. I do like to group some of them together just so I can have space. So first we have food, which this includes both my groceries and eating out cash envelopes. I have gas, which is by itself, shopping, which is my beauty and allowance cash envelopes, and then I do like to track unbudgeted expenses. that I may have within the month, which I'm really happy to say this. I actually did not have any unbudgeted expenses. I think the main reason for that would have to be that I really knew what was going to happen in the month. Like bridal shower, I had a budget set out for gifts and for Halloween, and I really just set myself up for success. So that was really why I didn't have any unbudgeted expenses, which makes me happy. But of course, it's not realistic to think that I'll never have unbudgeted expenses, because you know, things happen and you can't predict the future, to be honest. So super happy about that. So now let's go ahead and start with food. For food, as you guys can see from my little key here, it is all the pink stickers. So I only have one for Target for this week. So let's go ahead and write $35. As you guys can see, I had remaining $36, which I believe was for my groceries cash envelope. So that means that I should have $1 left over. So let me show you guys my tracker as I'm doing this. So as you guys can see, I did have $36. The week left from the week prior, I used $35, so that means that I should have $1. And I am going to, I know last month I rolled over the money that I had left over in my cash envelopes, but for this month, I'm actually going to be doing something else with it. So I will let you guys know once I'm done with it, but I am going to put it to the side. So we have $1 left in there. And then eating out, of course, we didn't have anything from the week before. Then moving on to gas. Sorry, I just realized my camera wasn't recording. So I did spend $40 and I have $40 remaining. And this is what I have in my tracker too. As you guys can see, I rolled over $40, so that's sort of how that ended up working out. What I'm going to do this time, oh, I forgot to show you guys, my eating out cash envelope didn't have anything. And then for gas, I do still have the $40, so I'm going to put that to the side there. I also already went ahead and checked off my little expenses here. Last but not least, I have shopping, which is all of my teal stickers. As I mentioned, I took out $5 from my allowance cash envelope and I went to Sally's, and that was $39. So in total, that is $44 that I spent. So 72 from last week minus 44 equals to $28. So let me show you guys my trackers for allowance. I took out the $5, which means that I should have $2 left in my allowance cash envelope, which I do. So let me put that to the side. And then for beauty, I spent $39 and I had $65 from last week. Sorry about that. So that means that I should have $26 left over in my beauty cash envelope. So 25, 26. And now I'll put that to the side. So like I mentioned, I didn't have any unbudgeted expenses, so I'll just go ahead and write a 0 here and just a little dash there. So this is what I have remaining for my cash envelopes. I am going to keep them to the side, so I will show you guys how I will put that in my budget, just because I want to make sure to put this money to somewhere that I really might need it for November. So we have left over for my cash envelopes 20, 40, 65, 66, 67, 68, and $69. So this is the savings that I've had from my cash envelopes. Now you can go ahead and put it towards your budget, so to cover for other categories, let's say that you might have gone over budget. But what I'm going to do with this money is I'm actually going to put it towards one of my sinking funds, and that sinking fund is going to be my medical sinking fund. I don't know if you guys have seen my November monthly budget, but I mentioned that for my medical sinking fund in the month of November, I kind of had already seen it coming, that I was going to have to purchase contacts, and I ended up talking to my optometrist and I decided to go for the 1-a-day contacts, and those are a little bit more pricey than the regular ones that I usually get. So I am going to be putting this money towards this, and you guys will see how that will look in my sinking fund spread for the month of November in my week 1 check-in that should be coming up on Monday. So make sure to stay tuned for that. I think before I move on to this, I think I'm going to go to my sinking funds, because yeah, my monthly views already, and now my sinking funds. So for my sinking funds, you guys can see I only had 4 transactions. I don't usually spend too much money for my sinking funds because they are things that I am saving money for in the long run. of course with the exception of like my car insurance and my car payment. But yes, so let me just go ahead and update all of this and close all of this on camera for you guys. So for adventures, I didn't spend anything. I only had expenses for like date night, medical, car payment, and car insurance. So off the bat, we didn't spend anything for adventures. That means that the ending should be 120. For Amazon Prime, no spending. So I am ending in the month of October with $50. Car insurance, I did spend $300. So let me just write $300. And I should have $50 left in here. Next, for cart maintenance, I didn't spend anything. So that means that we should have $90 left over. Then next, for car payment, I spent $257 for my monthly payment, but I still have $257 left over. For car tags, I didn't spend anything, so that is $75. For Christmas, didn't spend anything, so I am ending $350. For date night, I did spend $39. So let's see, I had 31 plus 20, that was 51, minus 39, so I spent 39, and that means that I should have left over $12 in the sinking fund. Next, entertainment, I didn't spend anything on here, so we should still have $96. Go Wild, nothing, that's $75. And then medical, 47 plus 53, that's 100, and I did spend $78 of that, so 78 spent, and I have $22 left over. So I'm now going to go ahead and add all of my expenses and my endings for my sinking fund. So 300 plus 257, 39 and 78, that is a total of 674. And then for my ending, 120, 50, 50, 90, 257, 75, 350, 12, 96, 75, and 22. That is a total of 1,197 for my ending of October. And if you guys would have seen my sinking funds for the month of November, then you guys know that that is the number that I started with. So I am beginning with that number in November, and everything matches up. So that means that I did everything correctly, and we're all done with this spread. Now, moving on, before we finish up our October monthly budget spread, I do want to bring you guys to my variable income. I mentioned this in my cash envelope stuffing for November, but the whole Patreon thing is working out. The only thing is that it does work, I believe, as YouTube does. So YouTube pays you out the month after. So let's say if I earn money for October, I don't get that payout up until November. So I think that is how Patreon also works. So I went ahead and took out Patreon, but to my surprise, I actually got paid from Amazon. If you guys don't know, I do tend to have affiliate links for Amazon products in my description, as well as for Erin Condren, as well, as you guys know. And I don't usually get paid from Amazon like on a monthly basis. It usually ends up being like every 3 months, every 4 months, and it's not that much, so I don't mind showing you guys. So I wasn't estimating anything for that, but it was a nice surprise, and that was $15.15. So that's also my variance there. So the sources are only going to be YouTube, ShareASale, and Amazon for this month. And then for my expenses, since the last time we were here, I only had one more, which I went ahead and just used a sticky note because I didn't have any more space here. But it was on the 29th, and I went ahead and purchased a shipping label for a giveaway prize for one of my patrons. So I just went ahead and took that out of my variable income section, and that is it for this. So now let's go ahead and move on to closing out this spread. Like I mentioned, I am going to be saving all of the money that I had left over in my cash envelope. So this is how it's going to look in my monthly budget. I am going to write that I spent all that money because in reality, I am going to spend it. It is going to go towards my sinking funds, which I already told you guys that I will show you guys how that will look. I have done this in the past and it has worked out for me every single time. So that is what we're going to do. So for every one of my cash envelopes, I'm going to put that the actual, I mean for some of these, the actuals were the whole amount, like eating out. So I'll put that I actually spent 195. So then I'll just put a dash here because there's no variance in here. Now next up for electricity, I budgeted $160, but it ended up being a lot less actually. I think it was around like $90, but I just went ahead and gave my dad $100 for it. So that means, sorry, $100. So that means that I was under by $60. So that's really good there. Then I have my phone bill. For my phone bill, it ended up being just a little bit more. As I mentioned in my November monthly budget, I am starting to split my brother's financing of his phone with my sister, so it did go up to $131.02. So that means that I am over by $14.02. So that's how I like to write that there with red, just so we can know that that is a bad number there. Next for bridal shower, oh my god you guys, if you guys have been keeping up with my weekly check-ins, then you guys know that I definitely overspent for my sister's tea party bridal shower. So let's go ahead and take a look. So that ended up being $556.03, and I am now just going to check it off because I am going to input it. So $556.03. $556.03, which means that I was over by $156.03. I've already talked about this. I'm not going to go into much detail, but you know, you live and you learn. Next, we have gifts, which is also an other category. So I like to have all other expense categories that I don't weekly check in for, like my cash envelopes, just being part of the other with the yellow sticker. So for gifts, I believe I have 2 here. So we have 34 plus 26. That is a total of $60 there. So I budgeted 80, as you guys can see, but I only spent 60, so that means that I am under by $20, so we're good there. Next, for Halloween, I budgeted 100, and it actually ended up being only $42.38. So $42.38. So I am actually under by $57.62. And then last but not least, I have unbudgeted, which I already let you guys know that I didn't spend anything. I didn't have any unbudgeted expenses. So we're going to put a dash here. So now I'm going to add all of my actuals. So 150 plus 100, 80, 100, 95, 100, 131.02, 556.03, 60, 42.38. That is a total of 1,414 with 43 cents. And let me just double check with this. I just realized it was looking a little bright there. Okay, so we have 60. I'm going to add all the unders first. 20, 57.62 minus 14.02 minus 156.03. So we were still, even after being under in a couple of categories, we were still over budget in our variable expenses by $32.43, which should be, yeah, So this is exactly the same. Perfect. Everything matches up. And now I am going to also add my fixed expenses, because if you guys would have seen my October debt snowball video, which is this spread right here, then you guys know that I made an additional payment, an extra debt payment of $650 towards my Bank of America card. So now I can go ahead and put that there. Super, super happy that I was able to put that money towards that. And now I can go ahead and add my fixed expenses. So 74 plus 38 plus 499 plus 99 cents plus 100, 270, 972, sorry, 130, 77, and 650. That means that my fixed expenses were a total of 1,970 with 75 cents. So now, as you guys know, I don't disclose my income, but I do like to give you guys like sort of step-by-step thing. So now what I would do was I would put expected income on my total section, and then of course my actual at the end of the month. And I'll go ahead and write this in after I'm done filming the video, but now I can go ahead and put that the actual amount for variable expenses was 1,414 with 43 cents. And now, since I know my fixed expenses amount, I can just go ahead and put it as budgeted and as actual, because fixed expenses don't change throughout the month. So I'll go ahead and put my income here, and this will be my potential savings, and then my actual income here subtracted by variable and fixed expenses. And whatever number I have here, part of that I will put towards next month's debt snowball, and part of it I will put it towards my savings. So I do like to split this into half. Of course, if you're focusing on just savings, you can use this for that, or if you're just focusing on paying your debt off, you can use this for that, but I like to use them for both. With that being said, that is pretty much all that I have for this October budget results video. I really hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me throughout this whole month, as well as just other months that I've been budgeting. As I said this time and time again, I feel like budgeting has really changed my whole life aspect and views about how I spend my money, and giving my money a job and a purpose. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already. Make sure to comment down below if you have any questions for me to answer, and hopefully I will get to see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.